At the meeting point of two great rivers stands a fortress that has been destroyed and rebuilt more times than almost any in Europe. Romans, Byzantines, Ottomans, and Habsburgs all fought for this ground. Whoever held Belgrade Fortress controlled the gateway between East and West. This is Kalemegdan, the most contested stronghold in European history. The story of Belgrade Fortress begins over 2,000 years ago, long before the city itself rose to prominence. Before the Romans, a Celtic tribe known as the Scordisi settled on this strategic high ground, recognizing its incredible defensive potential. But it was the Romans who first truly fortified the site, establishing the military camp of Singidunum around the 1st century AD. This wasn't just any camp. It was a cornerstone of the Roman frontier, the limes, which separated the empire from the barbarian lands to the north. Why here? Look at the map. The confluence of the Sava and Danube rivers created a natural barrier and a vital waterway for trade and military transport. From this single point, you could control access deep into Central Europe and down into the Balkans. The Romans understood this perfectly. They built stone walls, watchtowers, and a legionary fortress that would become the very foundation of everything that followed. For nearly 400 years, Singidunum was a key military and urban center of the Roman province of Mysia. The ruins of this ancient Roman castrum are still visible today, buried beneath layers of subsequent history, a testament to the site's enduring importance. It's a place where the story of European conflict truly began. After the Western Roman Empire crumbled in the 5th century, the fortress entered a chaotic and violent period. It was sacked by the Huns, Sarmatians, Goths, and Avars, but its strategic value was too great to be abandoned. The Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantines, repeatedly fought to reclaim it. Emperor Justinian the Great rebuilt the fortifications in the 6th century, understanding that holding Singidunum was crucial to defending his northern border. For centuries, control of the fortress was a brutal tug-of-war between the Byzantines, the Bulgarian Empire, and the Kingdom of Hungary. Then, in the early 5th-10th century, a new power rose, the medieval Serbian state. A remarkable ruler, despot Stefan Lazarevio, made Belgrade his capital. He was a brilliant military strategist and a man of culture, and he transformed the fortress into one of the most advanced medieval strongholds in Europe. He built a magnificent palace within the walls, reinforced the ramparts with massive new towers, and created a double-walled defense system that was considered nearly impregnable. It was during this golden age that Belgrade earned the nickname Beograd, the White City, a name inspired by the gleaming white limestone of its new walls and towers, visible for miles across the Pannonian Plain. It was a beacon of Serbian power and a symbol of defiance, standing proudly at the edge of Christendom, but that defiance would soon be put to the ultimate test. As the medieval Serbian state weakened, two colossal empires collided right at Belgrade's gates, the expanding Ottoman Empire from the east and the Habsburg monarchy from the north. The fortress became the epicenter of a centuries-long struggle for control of Europe. In 1456, the Ottomans launched a massive siege, but were famously repelled by a crusader army led by the Hungarian general John Hunyadi, a victory celebrated across Europe. However, the reprieve was temporary. In 1521, the mighty Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, at the head of an enormous army, finally conquered the fortress. This was a monumental event. The fall of Belgrade opened the door for the Ottoman advance into the heart of Europe, leading directly to the Battle of Mohacs and the conquest of Hungary. For the next 300 years, Belgrade Fortress was the front line. It became a symbol of imperial ambition, captured, lost, and recaptured in a relentless cycle of brutal warfare. The Austrians, representing the Habsburgs, seized it multiple times, only to lose it again to the Ottomans. Each siege left the fortress scarred and battered, and each new conqueror immediately began rebuilding it in their own style, adding new layers to its defenses. Historians estimate that the fortress changed hands over 40 times and was razed to the ground on several occasions. It wasn't just a fortress. It was the bloody chessboard of empires, the key to Central Europe, and its possession could change the course of history. Walking through Belgrade Fortress today is like taking a journey through a timeline of military architecture carved in stone. What makes it so fascinating isn't just one style, but the fusion of many. Every empire that fought and bled for this ground left its mark, creating a unique layered structure. Deep within the complex, you can still find the foundations of the Roman castrum, the original rectangular layout that defined the fortress's core. Then you see the medieval Serbian additions, the imposing Despot's Gate, and the mighty Zindan Tower, remnants of that 5th-10th century white city, showcasing the height of Balkan medieval engineering. Surrounding these are the Ottoman contributions. The Istanbul Gate, with its distinct archways and clock tower, served as the main entrance to the city for centuries. They also built mosques, baths, and caravanserai within the walls, turning the fortress into a bustling Ottoman town. Then, a sharp contrast, the Austrian Baroque fortifications. When the Habsburgs took control in the 18th century, they brought in the latest European military designs, creating star-shaped bastions and complex geometric ramparts designed to withstand cannon fire. The Leopold and King's Gates are perfect examples of this elegant yet brutally effective style. Each wall, each gate, each tower tells a story of conquest and adaptation. Kalemegdan isn't a single structure. It's a living museum of European warfare, where Roman, Serbian, Ottoman, and Austrian history collide. By the 19th century, the nature of warfare was changing dramatically. The development of powerful, long-range artillery meant that traditional stone fortresses like Kalemegdan were becoming obsolete. Their high walls, once a formidable defense, were now easy targets for modern cannons. As its military significance faded, the fortress entered a new chapter. This coincided with a pivotal moment in Serbian history, the struggle for independence from the Ottoman Empire. After centuries of foreign rule, Serbia was re-emerging as a nation. In 1867, a symbolic event took place. The last Ottoman commander handed the keys of the city and its fortress over to the Serbian Prince Mihailo Obrenović. The Ottoman flags were lowered, and the Serbian flag was raised over the ancient ramparts. The cannons, which had roared for centuries, finally fell silent. From that moment on, the fortress was no longer a battleground, but a powerful symbol of national sovereignty, endurance, and freedom. The Serbian people reclaimed it, not as a military base, but as the heart of their capital and the soul of their nation. Its role shifted from a tool of war to a monument of peace and survival, a testament to a city that had refused to be erased from the map. Today, Belgrade Fortress, or Kalemegdan Park as it's now known, is the most beloved public space in the city. The roar of cannons has been replaced by the laughter of children, the marching of armies by the strolling of couples. It has been beautifully transformed into a vast historical park, a green oasis in the heart of a bustling metropolis. The fortress walls now contain museums, including the Military Museum, which chronicles its long and violent past, and art galleries that look toward the future. It's a place where people come to relax, to meet friends, and to witness one of the most spectacular views in all of Europe, the majestic confluence of the Sava and Danube rivers. Standing guard over this entire scene is the famous Pobednik, the Victor Monument. Erected to commemorate Serbia's victories in the Balkan Wars and World War I, this powerful statue of a nude male figure holding a falcon and a sword has become the defining symbol of Belgrade. He looks out over the rivers, a silent guardian embodying the city's spirit of defiance and its ultimate triumph over centuries of conflict. Kalemegdan is where Belgrade's past and present meet, a place of memory and a place of life. Belgrade Fortress is more than stone and walls. It is a witness to empires rising and falling, a crossroads of civilizations, and the eternal guardian of a city that refused to disappear. For over 2 millennia, it has absorbed the ambitions, the violence, and the cultures of Europe, becoming a living chronicle of our shared and often brutal history. It reminds us that even the most contested ground can eventually find peace. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into history, please like, subscribe, and join us for our next exploration.